Should we look at the Texas schedule real quick and see who got bailed out? Let's compare Arkansas's schedule to Texas and Texas A&M's schedule to Texas. So
Hmm.
Texas lucked out by playing a terrible Michigan team on the road right
Well,
after
at the
they lost
time, yes,
everybody in their coaching staff. They lost all their players. Okay, they play OU
it's
every
not that.
year. Okay. Um, you play Georgia. Okay, that's a good game right there. Let's see. All these other SEC teams finished in the bottom half of the SEC.
Hmm.
Now let's look at OU schedule.
I mean, Arkansas is
Tennessee,
2-1. They can go strong too.
Tennessee. OU plays Tennessee, number 6 Tennessee. That's a top 10 team. Number 1 Texas. So that's 2 top 10 teams. Number 5 Ole Miss. That's 3 top 10 teams. Number 7 Missouri. That's 4 top 10 teams. But we're not done. They play Alabama too. So that's
Hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 top 10 teams on OU's schedule. Let's go back to Texas's schedule. Okay. Oh, Georgia. There we go. You have one. You have one top
You know
10
what?
team on
And
your
you know what?
schedule.
We're not in the SEC. We're coming
Uh,
into the SEC.
well,
So
let's
you
look at
gotta understand.
A&M's. Let's look at A&M's. Let's see if they play. So they play Texas. That's 1 top 10 team. They play Missouri. That's 2 top 10 teams. Um,
Who I think they're gonna beat.
Notre Dame, we're not going to count it as a top 10 team, even though they were top 10 whenever it happened. But that could be a team that maybe finishes in the top 10. So they play, A&M plays 2 top 10 teams.
Hmm.
It's
But
not way
AM, that's their
better.
only loss. See,
So let's
AM.
look at. Hmm?
Here's the AM is 2-1, so they're doing pretty good. Arkansas is 2-1. I think Arkansas is better than a lot of people think. I really think
Yeah.
Arkansas can actually do a lot more. Actually,
Hey,
lose.
easy, buddy. I'm about to roast you a little bit more here. Arkansas
Mhm.
plays number 6 Tennessee, so that's 1 top 10 team. They play
Who
number
I think they're
5 Ole
gonna.
Miss. That's 2 top 10
Mhm.
teams. They play Texas. That's 3 top 10 teams. Oh, and guess what? We play Missouri. That's 4 top 10 teams. So
Mhm.
that's the thing here
Well,
is Texas has two big games that make them eligible to be top 5 status, in my opinion. And that is Georgia and OU. If they lose to both Georgia and OU, they are top 5 frauds because everybody else on this schedule will be outside of the top 10. And if they lose both of their teams, especially OU, because OU is not a top 10 team. So even if you beat OU, it's kind of like, where's OU going to finish on here after we just looked at their 5 top 10 team schedule that they have to play? So that's the thing is Texas really, they've got to win that Georgia game if they really want to prove that they're number 1 and even in the top 5. And then they got to take care of OU, which they've had trouble doing. And then also you got to get through A&M at the end of the season. And as of right now, A&M has just got back into the top 25. Um,
mhm.
so
We got you. You gotta understand with Texas, they just came and played a 2-game series with Alabama, so they definitely weren't going to put them in there. Um, you also gotta understand that there's a lot of these teams like Florida's never played at Texas, and Texas never played Florida. They wanted that matchup. They didn't expect that Florida was going to be bad. They didn't see that coming. I mean, I guess they did when they
that
made the
guy has been
schedule,
on the
but
hot seat the last 2 years. What do you mean they didn't expect
yeah,
him to be bad?
well, you know what? You're correct. They were bad, but you gotta understand they're trying to think of a matchups that people have never seen, and they think that'd be good TV ratings for that.
Right.
But
So if Texas is
really,
number 1 in the country, they should have no problem beating all these teams outside of Georgia. I'll just give them the Georgia game as if you take an L against Georgia, I'm not going to, beat you two up for it, but if they lose any of these other games, top 5 frauds.
They're not losing. They're not losing to Mississippi State. They're not losing
They
to
could lose
UL
to
Monroe.
OU.
They're not losing to OU.
They go to
That's
Vanderbilt.
okay. What happened when Alabama beat Texas? Rivers got knocked out, right? He wanted revenge. He was pissed. Guess what? They beat Alabama. Now look at this. Ewers is out, so now we got Arch Manning. He's going to play UL Monroe. He's going to play Mississippi State, and then Ewers is going to come back and he's going to play Oklahoma. And
Hmm.
technically, if we needed to, I would see Ewers coming back against Mississippi State, but he doesn't have to because Texas has a great quarterback of Arch Manning. They actually Arch Manning was a plus 10,000 favorite in the Heisman. Guess he's now a plus 1,600 favorite in Vegas odds for the
Wow.
Heisman. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a big jump.
I think that it's pretty incredible that they had the audacity to put Texas ahead of Georgia when Georgia hasn't lost a regular season game in 2 or 3 seasons.
Well, here's the thing, Georgia.
And
Georgia
and
did
they've
really
only
bad
lost to
against
one
Kentucky.
excuse me, and they've only lost to one team Georgia has. One team. Can
Yeah,
you name
but
that team?
that's Alabama, who Texas
Yeah.
beat last year. Yeah, that's why. That could be
Mhm.
Alabama last year. The same team that beat Georgia last year. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter. But
It was
here's
week
my
2.
point.
What did
Week
what did
2, week 3,
Alabama
who
do in week
cares?
3? What did Alabama do in week 3?
It don't matter. You want to be a champion team. You come to play. It doesn't matter if it's week 1, 2, or 3. When you play a good
How did
team like
Alabama look
Alabama,
in
you're
week
going to come
3?
out and play.
How did they look in
But
week 3?
yeah, but here's the thing. At that time, they were thinking about trading out Jalen Milroy for their other quarterback because he did horrible. And it, yes, they improved, they did better, but I so did Texas. Texas got better as the season went on.
Right. So what do they need
It,
to do to solidify to you that they are a top 5? Let's go over this scenario. If they lose to Georgia and they lose to OU, should they be in the top 5?
no,
Oh, okay.
they
Then we
shouldn't
agree
be
then. Yeah, we agree. Okay.
right. Yeah, but the thing is Texas will beat OU. Um, Ewers wants revenge. I'm not sure if Ewers was in that game against OU. Was he?
For
Was
OU?
Ewers that Texas? The last year's
Yeah,
Texas.
yeah.
Let me look at
Yeah, he was. He
you.
was in that game.
Okay, he was. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's more motivation for Ewers to come in and do well in that game. You know, he doesn't want the same thing happen. And the thing is, Texas is getting better at recruiting, and it's helping because look, their whole
Yeah.
receiving core has been revamped. I mean, and now they got 5 really good receivers
Yeah.
that could start for any team, and they can't even play them all at once.
Yeah.
Unless 5 spread, but that's not gonna happen.
That's a lot of
They want to be
teams.
balanced.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
a lot of teams that they're not able to play all their guys. But let's, because we're not a Texas show, so let's kind of cut to the chase. I have one more scenario for you. I want your take on this. If Texas loses to Georgia, Oklahoma, and then falls to A&M at the end of the season, do they get into the college football playoff?
nope,
All right. Let's leave
nope.
it at that.
They beat Michigan. That's the only
I'm
thing.
just kidding.
No.
They're what?
If Michigan goes on, even if Michigan goes on and beats every team in their
Yeah.
schedule, wins the Big Ten, I still don't see them make it. If they do, they barely make it.
So
But
Texas can only get in with 2 losses max.
yeah, I don't think there's a team getting in with 3 losses.